What exactly is product management? I started learning about product management over 10 years ago, and there's still today misconceptions about what it is and a lot of confusion about what it isn't. I'm Daesang, a product leader, and in this video, we're going to talk about what product management isn't and hear the reality of what it actually is. Product management is not the same thing as project management. I've been in so many conversations with people talking about product management, and then they respond back to me speaking about project management. Although you have aspects of project management in product management is so much more. It's more than just managing tasks, timelines, and deliverables. Instead, product management is strategy and vision driven. It's about defining a vision and roadmap. It's about aligning business goals to customer needs. And it's about managing and aligning a cross-functional team to execute on that vision. Product management is not building a product because the product team or leadership loves the idea. That's not how you do it. There's a lot of pressure and influence to go along with those who are securing the funding and providing the investment and are the big decision makers to listen to what they're saying and go ahead with their ideas. But the reality is that's not how you want to go about product management. And the same thing within your product team. Yes, you may love your idea. You may have been working on it for a while and it sounds amazing and you're thinking about all the different features that you can release, but that's also not the way to go about product management. What product management is about is starting with a deep understanding of the customer and their needs and pain points. That's where you want to start. You want to spend a good chunk of your time really getting deep with your customers, understanding what kind of challenges they're having. Maybe it's friction in their day. Maybe they're looking for a more convenient way of doing things. It's causing them to take a lot of time and be inefficient. So that's where you want to start, with spending time understanding, doing the research, talking to them, observing what they're doing today, and looking for opportunities there where you can see that there's a true problem, have them help you validate that it's actually a true problem, and then use that to inform what kind of solution you can come up with. That's the essence of product management and how you get started. Another thing that product management is not about is building all possible features at once and then shipping them. That's not something that you want to do. And it's very exciting to be in a phase where you're coming up with all the different ideas, thinking of the possibilities and thinking of how you can enhance your product. But that's something that you do later on down the road. You don't want to be in a situation where you start with all of the different features and then launch it, because at that point, it's very hard to understand which ones are working and which ones are not. What product management is about is using that initial data you got from your research and building a minimum viable product. That's an MVP, and launching that to customers and then using their feedback and the data to figure out what to do next. So you always want to start small. Start with something that will allow you to actually test the core essence of your product with customers, and then continue to be in conversations with them. Allow time and research to help inform what you should do next. And that's where you want to get your data from. And that's what you want to inform your decisions about which features to do next. And at that point, maybe it's one feature, maybe it's a couple of features, but even then, it's still not all the features altogether. You still want to be in a process where you're iterative, you're learning, and you're feeding that data back into your machine and making those decisions. But again, you take it step by step and take it slowly to learn as you go, and then you continue to build. Another thing that product management isn't is building from a static plan where you're not considering new information, customers changing preferences, or even market shifts. You never want to be in a situation that even if you've done the research, you validated, you got the information, you heard from the customers, you're making the assumption that all of these things continue to be true. There could be new competitors in this space and all types of changes that may be happening. So you want to make sure that you're considering that. So what product management is about is leveraging new insights and new data to build your next iteration. So as new information is coming, it will let you know if your customers do have new desires, if they have an alternative product that they're using, what they like about it, and if there are broader things in the market and in the economy that's causing changes, or new technology even that's coming that may be disrupting your product and what you offer today. So you want to use all that information to then go back to the drawing board and see how it impacts your product, how you can leverage some of those things to make your product even better, make it something that can add more value to customers, and use that again to figure out what your next feature is going to be and how you're going to improve the product and iterate with the next version. Product management is not launching the product and considering the job done. I know it's a lot of work to get to the point that you've designed and built and launched a product and you want to break. However, there's still a lot more to do at that point. Even through the deployment process, you want to make sure that your product is working well and as designed. So you're going to be testing it. If you have bugs and issues that you find, you might need to go through that and figure out how do you triage them, which sequencing do you need to tackle them in, depending on how severe the issues are. So there's always a lot to do. So no, the job is not done once you get to the point of launching the product. What product management is about is caring for the product through the entire life cycle. So all the way from the beginning, all the way through end of lifing the product and figuring out how you're going to retire it. The management word is an important piece of that because you're truly seeing the product through every single step in its journey and its life cycle. So you want to think about how can you improve it. You're continuing to get feedback from customers to learn what's working and what's not working. You're continuing to do research in the market. You're continuing to look at competitors in the space as well and seeing what new opportunities are out there, what they're doing. How can you continue to differentiate yourself? How can you broaden your customer base? And how can you use that product to continue to scale and add value, not just to customers, but also to the business? Product management isn't only about delighting the customer with a new or enhanced product. Yes, you want to make sure you're paying attention to the customer, you're listening to them, you're empathetic to them, you're an advocate for the customer above all else. But that's not the only thing. That's only one portion of the role. So there are lots of other things to focus on as well. Product management is about driving customer adoption, coming up with new revenue streams, entering new markets, driving new sustainability and outcomes for the business, and also developing competitive advantage over time. So you can see there are lots of different outcomes that are related to this role and that PMs are responsible for. So it's not just about being focused on the customer. Yes, that's an important part of it, but the product over time is fundamental to driving growth and value for the business as well. And all that happens through looking at the entire business model. So looking at your different revenue streams, how are you competitive and differentiated in the market? So many different complexities to this role and the responsibilities of a PM. And it also takes diverse skills as well. Product management is not about quick fixes. It's not about implementing short-term solutions just to address those immediate problems. Product management is about long-term thinking. It's about building a sustainable product that delivers long-term value and aligns with the vision and strategy of the business. So I hope this has been helpful for you, especially to see some of the nuances and complexity of the product manager role, and especially what is and isn't true about the role as well. So if you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.